Right now, while you're watching this video, some of the biggest Kaspa whales just dumped millions of dollars into their bags during yesterday's market bloodbath. We're talking 7.5 million KS tokens accumulated in a single day while retail traders were panic selling. But here's what's really wild. Kaspa's price is still completely trapped in this death grip between two critical levels, and what happens next could determine whether we see a violent breakout to new highs or a devastating crash that wipes out months of gains. The data I'm about to show you will shock you. What's up, crypto family? If you're new here, I break down the most explosive altcoin opportunities before they moon, so smash that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because today's Kaspa analysis is absolutely critical for your portfolio. Let me paint you the picture of what's happening with Kaspa right now, because this setup is unlike anything we've seen in months. We've got three massive forces colliding simultaneously, and when I show you the data, you'll understand why this could be the calm before an absolute storm. First, the technicals. Kaspa has been stuck in this brutal sideways grind for weeks now, trapped between $0.085 support and that stubborn $0.105 resistance zone. Every time bulls try to push higher, they get absolutely demolished at that 10-cent level. But every time bears try to break support, massive buying pressure steps in. This is classic accumulation behavior, and it's setting up for an explosive move. Second, the fundamentals are going absolutely nuclear. Kaspa just gained access to the Amadeus travel network. We're talking about a $6 billion revenue platform that connects thousands of airlines, hotels, and travel agencies across 190 countries. This isn't some random partnership announcement. This is real-world utility that could onboard millions of users to the Kaspa ecosystem. And third, this is the most important part, smart money is positioning aggressively while retail sentiment is still uncertain. The funding rates, the whale movements, the Google Trends data, everything is screaming that institutional players know something retail doesn't. Now let me show you exactly what the smart money is doing, because this will blow your mind. Yesterday's market dip revealed everything. While paper hands were panic selling, the biggest Kaspa wallets went on an absolute shopping spree. Wallet 2 increased their holdings by 2.5 million KAS tokens, straight from Gate.io. Wallet 8 accumulated 3.7 million KAS from Kraken. Wallet 9 quietly stacked another 1.3 million through multiple smaller transfers. Do the math. That's 7.5 million KAS tokens absorbed by just 3 wallets in a single day. At current prices, we're talking about roughly $670,000 worth of accumulation during a market downturn. These aren't random retail investors. These are sophisticated players with deep pockets and inside information. But here's what makes this even more bullish. These whales specifically use centralized exchanges to accumulate. That means they're pulling supply off the market and into cold storage. Less supply available for trading equals higher prices when demand increases. The derivatives data is painting an even more bullish picture. Kaspa's weighted funding rate has stayed positive since the end of June, even through all the volatility and price swings. For those who don't know, positive funding rates mean long positions consistently outweigh shorts. Traders are literally paying a premium to bet on Kaspa going up. Think about that for a second. Through weeks of sideways price action, through market uncertainty, through everything, derivatives traders are still overwhelmingly bullish on Kaspa. That's not hopium, that's real money backing real conviction. But it's not just institutional money. Google Trends data shows Kaspa search activity is climbing steadily upward. This isn't some random spike. This is sustained, growing interest from retail investors who are just discovering this project. When Google Trends starts climbing while price is still consolidating, that's usually a leading indicator of massive price movements. More searches mean more awareness. More awareness means more buyers. More buyers mean higher prices. It's that simple. Now let's talk about what the charts are actually telling us, because this setup is absolutely textbook. Current price sits at $0.08956 after yesterday's 9.37% drop. But look at where we bounced, right off that 200-day simple moving average at $0.085. That's not coincidence. That's institutional support. The RSI is sitting at 48.70, which is perfectly neutral territory. We're not overbought, we're not oversold. We're in that sweet spot where big moves usually originate. But here's the key level everyone needs to watch. That descending trend line from April's $0.125 high, connecting to July's $0.118 peak. This line has rejected every rally attempt for months. It's sitting right around $0.105 right now, and it's the single most important resistance level in the entire Kaspa chart. The MACD is showing mild bullish momentum building underneath current price action. The CCI is leaning bullish at 61.90. Even the bull-bear power indicator shows buyers have a slight edge with a reading of 0.0028. Everything is coiling up for a massive move, but the direction depends entirely on what happens at these critical levels. Alright, let's cut through the noise and talk about what happens next, because I've identified 3 distinct scenarios based on the data. If Kaspa can finally break and hold above 10 cents with strong volume, we're looking at an immediate run to $0.105, 11 cents. But if momentum really kicks in and we break that descending trendline resistance, this could explode to $0.118, 12 cents faster than you can blink. Remember, all that whale accumulation I showed you, those tokens aren't going back to market anytime soon. Reduced supply plus increased demand from the Amadeus partnership news could create the perfect storm for a violent breakout. The probability of this scenario increases significantly if we see volume spike above 50% of recent average on the breakout, RSI pushing above 60 with strong momentum, and multiple time frames confirming the break. More likely, in the short term, Kaspa stays trapped between $0.085 and 10 cents until a major catalyst forces a decisive move. This sideways consolidation could last days or even weeks. But here's why this scenario might actually be the most bullish long-term. More time for accumulation, more time for the Amadeus partnership to develop, more time for Google trends to climb. Sometimes the best setups take time to mature. If we lose that $0.085 support level with volume, things get ugly fast. The next major support sits around 8 cents, but if that breaks, we could see a test of the 7 cents, $0.075 zone. However, given all the whale accumulation and positive funding rates, this scenario seems least likely unless we see broader crypto market weakness or some unexpected negative news. Based on everything I've analyzed, the whale accumulation, the derivatives positioning, the technical setup, the fundamental developments, I'm leaning heavily bullish on Kaspa over the next 4-8 weeks. That doesn't mean we can't see short-term volatility or even a test of lower support levels. But the smart money is positioning for higher prices, and the smart money is usually right. Now before you rush to market buy Kaspa, let me give you my exact strategy for this setup, because position sizing and risk management will make or break your portfolio. I'm not recommending market buying here. Instead, I'm watching for either a breakout above $0.105 with volume for momentum plays, or a retest of $0.085. $0.087 support for value accumulation. Never risk more than 2 to 3% of your total portfolio on any single altcoin trade. Kaspa might have incredible potential, but crypto is volatile and anything can happen. For long positions, I'm setting stops below $0.082. That's far enough below support to avoid normal volatility but close enough to limit damage if the thesis breaks down. If we do get that bullish breakout, I'm taking partial profits of 25% at $0.115, 25% at $0.125, and 50% riding for potential higher targets. Remember, nobody ever went broke taking profits. Look, Kaspa is setting up for what could be one of the most explosive moves we've seen in the altcoin space in months. The whale accumulation, the derivatives positioning, the fundamental developments, everything is aligning for a potential breakout. But timing is everything in crypto. This could play out over days, weeks, or even months. The key is staying patient, following your plan, and not letting emotions drive your decisions. If you found this analysis valuable, absolutely smash that like button. Subscribe for more explosive altcoin content, and drop a comment below with your Kaspa price prediction. Are you bullish, bearish, or neutral? I read every single comment, and remember, none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research, never invest more than you can afford to lose. And remember that past performance doesn't guarantee future results. I'll see you in the next video where I'm breaking down 3 altcoins that could 10x before the end of the year. You won't want to miss it. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only, and should not be considered financial advice. Cryptocurrency investments are highly volatile and risky. Always conduct your own research and consult with qualified financial advisors before making investment decisions. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Never invest more than you can afford to lose.